Hi, I'm Shelley from the Mummy School. I'd just like to share with you what I know about using dummies, as there's been so much hype in the media and the press about the Beckhams and little Harper having a dummy. So I'm not one of these people that is anti-dummy actually. I probably was some 17 years ago when I had my first son, because I was brought up to believe that dummies weren't the done thing, that you didn't use them. But I soon changed my mind about that when I was left with a crying baby that I couldn't soothe, who really loved suckling. But what I want to say about dummies is that I don't think that they're a bad thing. They do certainly serve the purpose, but you just need to be mindful of how you're using them. And I think that lots of people actually have heard and know that dummies can impact speech and that they can cause problems with teeth. But I think what lots of new parents don't know is that dummies can actually hinder feeding. So, what I mean by that is that sometimes, if you're unaware as a new parent how often babies can feed, particularly if you're breastfeeding, that you may have fed your new baby half an hour ago and they may be crying again and need feeding again, and you might think, oh, this is strange, they've only just fed half an hour ago, they can't possibly be hungry. But the reality is that breastfed babies do feed very often to start with, because they only have really tiny little tummies. So if you're using the dummy and instead of feeding your little baby, then what might happen is weight might become an issue, and that might happen because you're not feeding frequently enough. So you might be using the dummy and it might be masking the feeding cues, and you may not realise that your baby's actually telling you that they're hungry. So that's one problem that dummies can cause in the early days. And the other one, which caused a massive problem for me in my house with my two boys, is it can cause problems with sleep. So what happens is, and what I certainly did, was I would use the dummy to soothe my boys to sleep, and I would leave the dummy in their mouth and put them in the cot. And then consequently, during the night, the dummies fall out. So you end up going in and out of another bedroom, up and down, out of your bed all night, replacing that dummy to get them off back to sleep. And it's just a vicious cycle, really, until they're about 9 months old, when they can put the dummies in themselves. So that's what I know about dummies. Like I say, I don't think they're a bad thing personally. They do serve a purpose. It's just about being mindful of how you use them, really. I'm sure there's lots of other implications that I've maybe not covered, but that's what I know about them, and I think those are things, particularly with the feeding cues, that lots of new parents don't know about. Okay, thanks for now. Bye.